Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to gather yards of tulle netting. In my case, I'm going to be using crochet cotton, which is this. If you don't have crochet cotton, you can use dental floss. You can use anything that's going to be sturdy. And if you don't have any of that, just simply take your thread and cut a couple of pieces, the finished width that you want of your skirt, and this here is doubled over 4 times. Okay, so this is going to be good and strong so that you can pull on your gathering as you go. So what I do is I'm going to start at the back of the skirt where I have already serged my edges, and I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to insert a pin right there at the seam, like that. Then I'm going to take my crochet cotton and I'm going to simply form a figure 8 around the pin. That's to stabilize it, so when I'm pulling it will not come off. But don't just leave it like that. Go back in and bring it around a couple of times like this, because when you're pulling on this you don't want it to come out. So now what I did was I came to my zigzag stitch right here and I lengthened it as long as it goes on here, because I want a wide and a spaced out zigzag for what we're doing. So what I do is I keep the edge of my tulle netting right here along the edge of my foot. That's my guide. And all machines have a little guide or little marks on here, like this one here. This is the center where my foot is. I'm going to continuously keep my crochet cotton in the center. So this is what it's going to look like. Now watch what I'm going to do and I'll explain as I go. Let me get my first stitches going. I'm going to pass over that a little bit, over my pin. I don't want to get my pin in there. Now I am centering this in the center. No, that's a little too far. Let's go back a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to keep our crochet cotton or whatever you're using in your case in the center, and I'm always going to keep my eye on the guide right there. So I'm going to take a few stitches to make sure I'm not locking it in or sewing over it. So I'm getting this centered, making sure I'm not catching it. And now it's going to be very easy, because if you follow what I'm telling you, you're going to keep the edge of your tulle with the edge of your foot, and the crochet cotton is going to stay right in the middle, and I will be holding the crochet cotton right here at the end, making sure that I keep everything centered, and with my left hand I can manipulate my fabric as I go along. Now let's get started and I'll show you what I do. See, I went that far. Guess what? See how nice and sewn on that is back here? Now look what I do. I pull my crochet yarn. This is why I want you to have something that's strong. You don't have to use a crochet yarn. You could use floss. You can take the same exact thread that you're using and make it like 4 times the thickness that you want. How did I explain that? Okay, so let me explain this to you. For those that are beginners, okay? So here's one thread. And I brought the end to the end. All right, so that's 2. Now what I did was I put these ends together Now I'm going to take the length that I want of this thread, doubled. Now I'm going to fold it over. Here's the beginning, and here's where the loop is. All right, and I bring those together, and now we have 4 threads, the length of the project you want, and a little extra, because at the end I like to take my ends, and I'll show you on this one, so we don't lose our zigzag or it slips out. What I like to do at the end is just take and make a little loop, or a bow, whatever you want to do. So I make a little loop like that. I put the thread in the back and I pull up through the center, and I just do a little knot like that. The reason I do it that way is because when I get to the end, I'm going to have to adjust all my tulle netting, make sure all my gathering is perfect. So what I do is, when I'm done, I can pull it out. We'll be doing this to all of this, so hang in there with me and I'll show you how I do it. So this is for an adult skirt, tulle skirt that I'm making. Mind you, my left hand is guiding the fabric. And remember, you see how straight that is back there? Now watch. I'm pulling it. So now look at how easily cinched that is back there. That's one way of doing it. And then sometimes, depending on how I feel, I will just hold my crochet cotton here, and the feed dogs will pull the fabric back and gather it on its own without me letting this go. Watch. You see that? The back is all gathered automatically. So let me get all this done, and I'll show you more. As I go, I pull my little crochet cotton. Let's see how quick we can do this. I'm pulling as I do it. You see that? If you have a lot of tulle to sew, this is my 4th layer that I'm doing. So I figured, let me make a video and show people how I do it, just because there are new beginners out there. And then I used to do the traditional 2 rows of sewing next to each other, a row here, loose stitch, and pull everything to gather it. But as I've done so much sewing, I figured, let me find an easier way that's effective. And then the way that you get the perfect measurement is, this is going to be the full width of what your finished product is going to be. Okay, let's get going. So as you see, I've been sewing and I keep pulling my cording. I hope this little hint helps you, especially if you're creating costumes for your children, or if you have to make a tulle skirt for a dress that needs to have fluff under it. How do you call it? Like a crinoline. So I keep moving my tulle over to the side. Keeping my cord in the center, not catching it with the needle. As you can see, I'm pulling. I pull this as I also go along, so you could see there's all the gathering happening back there. Let's go back. You see my right hand pulling, left hand is guiding. You don't have to go as fast as I'm going. You can go as slow as you like, especially if this is your first time doing it. You'll get quick and handy at it. Let's see how far I have to go. So I have only done this a little bit. I still have a ways to go. I didn't want to bore you with watching me do this all the way, but if we're learning, let's learn. It's quick and easy anyway, and it's, like I said, many, many yards. Pull, 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 pull. Look at all that gathering back there. And if you don't want to do it that way, then do it this way. I'll show you another way. Always get my cord, my crochet cotton, completely straight. And let's go. I'm not going to gather it this time. I'll do a little bit more. If this makes it easier for people who don't want to hold and pull. Okay. So you can see here, let me see how I can put it. You can see here, I have not pulled the gathering here. It's completely straight. But now, when I get that far, I will pull and get my gathering. Because remember, this is the complete width of the skirt that I need. And I don't want to make this too long, because then I'm going to have to go and gather, and forget it. So here again, I just went straight. Now I'll pull. Because this is such a wide skirt, I wouldn't want to sit there having this cord the same width as this tulle skirt that I'm making, because that's just a waste of time, and I don't want to waste my time. Pulling again, keeping my needle, my cord in the middle. I'm going to take my gather over to the left side, and I'm going to give myself some more cord to play with, because I'm losing this a little bit, pulling it, because I still have, oh, we're almost done. All right. So much tulle here that it's hard to see where I began and where I end. All right, let's get going. Pull again. Look what's coming. The end is coming. That's quick and easy. Pulling again. And I'm coming to where I started. This is the easiest way I've found after sewing for many, many years. But I did start with the 2 rows and loosening the tension and pulling the threads. to get my gathering. Now I'm coming back to where I began. And get this nice and centered. I hope you like my St. Patrick's Day nails. As they say, everybody's Irish when it comes to St. Patrick's Day. Now I'm coming to the end, and then I'll show you how I finish it off. See, pulling has given me the width that I need of the finished skirt. So I'm going to come to the end. I'm going to line it up again perfectly. Now I'm going to do a back stitch because I do not want any of that zigzagging that I did at the end to come apart, because we're going to be tugging on it. Cut our thread. Let me get myself unhooked here. So here we have the end that we just did. Now I'm going to pull out my figure 8 pin there that I had that together. Seems like I might have caught that there, but it's okay. Let me get my, see, that's why you want to center it, but I did catch it there. Let me get my snip. There, we're loose. Now what I told you before, we're going to take our ends. We're going to take our ends. We're going to create a little loop, or you can make a bow, whatever is easiest for you. And we're going to simply loop around our finger, go through the back, pull those 2 yarns together, crochet yarn, and we're going to pull. Now that secures our ends together. So now all we do is we're going to go along and we're going to even out our zigzag, our gathering. And if you get stuck on a piece, just pull on it. And there's too much here for me to be showing you the whole thing, but I got stuck here, and that happens when you actually go over, catch the thread in it. Just pull it. Alrighty, keep going. So just be careful not to go over your cording or whatever it is you're zigzagging over. Like I said, crochet cotton, your thread, your floss, whatever it is, just as long as it's smooth and you're not going to be there using anything that's too thick. All right, guys, so here we have how I finish off my gathering with, again, my crochet cotton, or if you needed, your thread or floss. Guys, I hope this has been helpful and informative, and it helps you gather many, many, many yards, because I had like 15 yards of tulle netting that I had to gather. So this is the easiest and fastest way. All right, guys, if you like this and it's been helpful, let me know, and leave me questions and comments. Please give it a thumbs up. I hope this has been very helpful, especially with bridal month coming up in June. It's the same way you can make your wedding veils. Many yards, many yards of tulle netting. You gather it all, if this was white, and you would just gather it all on top, like so. You would, of course, make all of your seams even in a zigzag. Just go back and forth, back and forth. You will collect all of the top. You're going to sew this together either by hand. You can put your hair comb in here, and you have a beautiful veil for a wedding, flower girls, confirmations, whatever it is you need a little veil for. That's how easy it is. All right, guys, like I said, thank you for watching. Any questions and comments? Smash that bell if you want to get notification when I upload new videos. And please, please, please share it. Give it a thumbs up. It helps me a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye, and happy St. Patrick's Day.